This is Mitch with TaxFreeFuture.com. I'm here with Jennifer Falloon and Tim Berry. Say hi, you guys.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, so there's all kinds of minutia and neat little caveats that, you know, the average person wouldn't know about retirement plans. So since we have our expert retirement plan attorney right here, Tim Berry, we're going to talk about inherited retirement plans, and tell you some neat stuff about it. So, Tim, you want to kick us off on the subject?
Sure. The wonderful, exciting subject of what happens with your IRA whenever you die. And really, here's the interesting thing. Up until December of last year, you could give the IRA to the next generation and they could stretch out that IRA for the rest of their lifetime. But they passed some recent laws where theoretically that stretch has been eliminated. But I believe, Mitch, we talk in the videos, that 30 video set we have one talking about naming a trust as the beneficiary. And so now what we can do is if we name a trust the beneficiary of someone's IRA, we can still stretch it and pass it on to the next generation and stretch it over a long period of time.
Okay. There's also some interesting caveats as to, what do you call it, the procurement time, or the person that inherits it doesn't have to wait to be vested, right?
No, I mean, there's all sorts of games we can play. I mean, right now, the current law says whenever somebody inherits those retirement accounts, if they're your kids or your spouse, they have up to 10 years to take that asset out. So, gosh, they can let it sit off to the side, not do a single thing, and then at the end of 10 years, take the asset out at that point in time. So all sorts of ways we can defer taxation whenever you're passing it to the next generation.
When it's sitting there for 10 years, are you allowed to grow it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like the bank's going to be in charge of it. If it's invested in real estate, cool. Sell the real estate inside the IRA while you're waiting to take the money out, reinvest in another piece of real estate, create a note. You can do whatever the hell you want to, just like you can normally with the self-directed IRA during that 10-year waiting period.
How are the taxes handled when you take it out as the inherited, as the person who inherited the money?
Well, it's the same way as if it was the regular person taking the money out. They got to pay taxes on the fair market value of the assets distributed. But, you know, there's a cool thing. Mitch, let's say I go down and I show you a property at 123 Main Street, and we pull up Zillow, and Zillow says that's worth $100,000. Is that the official determination?
No.
No. I mean, everyone normally starts cussing about Zillow, and same thing with the real estate inside your IRA. We got to pay taxes on the fair market value of that property. If we can find an appraiser who, you know, says, hey, this isn't worth $100,000, and let me tell you why. The plumbing's messed up, the yard looks like hell, blah, 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 blah. Now, instead of it being $100,000 on the distribution, maybe it's $80,000. Then there's other games we can play. Tenants in common. We could have somebody else as a joint owner. That's going to drop the price. So there's all sorts of ways that we can lower the taxes on the distribution of assets, especially real estate and notes out of the retirement plan.
So Jennifer, is there any questions on this topic from the audience out there?
There was. John from New York wanted to know, what is an inherited plan and how do you use it? And then what if you didn't have any family? What if there are no children, there is no spouse? Where can that IRA go?
That's what Tax-Free Future is so special about. You can just give it to Mitch.
Well, Jen are here too. Jen and
I will handle it for you. Don't worry about it. It's my show, guys. You give it to me. I'm just kidding.
There it is. There, he just pulled rank.
We'll split it, okay?
Thank you.
98% to you, 1% to me, 1%
right.
to Jen.
What else? Any other questions? I mean, you can give it to anybody you want. I guess you give it to your favorite charity at that point. Or if you don't designate anybody, does it go to the state? You want to designate somebody, right? Somebody.
You want to designate somebody. And let me share with everybody right now $1 million secret about inherited IRAs. The tax code says you can designate any person as the beneficiary. Now, do you guys remember that court case, Citizens United? Corporations are people. So you could actually name a corporation as the beneficiary of the IRA. And stop and think about this. Let's say you got a corporation off to the side of business that's been running a loss for the last 5 years, and it has a loss of 100,000. And now you die, and your kids take over that corporation that has a loss. Now the IRA names the corporation as the beneficiary. Voila. There's a $100,000 tax hit, but it has a previous loss of 100,000. So no taxes are due on that IRA. So all sorts of amazing things we can do with inherited IRAs, and who do we name as the beneficiary of that inherited IRA?
Can you sell an IRA?
What's that?
Sell that? Can you sell that like you would sell a note? Can you say, hey, I'm going to die. I have this IRA. It's got 100 grand. I'll sell it to you for 80, and then I'm going to go spend the last days of my life on a cruise.
Jen, you go to the head of the class. Of course you can. And that just opens up so many different things too. I mean, stop and think right now of somebody who doesn't have any heirs and beneficiaries. They've got a $100,000 IRA, $1 million IRA, whatever dollar amount we want to have on there. And yet they're cash poor right now. Maybe someone can help them out by buying these rights. I mean, it's a mind blower of all the different things you can do with these retirement plans.
There's actually a business out there, little known, of opening it up an IRA in a person's name who you know is terminal. What's the advantages there?
Well, tax code says that an IRA, in particular a Roth IRA, is tax-free so long as two conditions are met. Number one, the account has been open for 5 years. And number two, either you're over 59 and a half, you're disabled, or you inherited that account. So what you're talking about, Mitch, is some people, if they're terminal, they'll establish the Roth. And now, so long as that's been account has been open for 5 years, and then you inherited that account from the terminal individual, all the money all the deals that occur inside there are tax-free. And some people say, well, gosh, let's say it's only 50 cents. Is that even worthwhile? I mean, hell, that's the beauty of real estate investing, isn't it? No money down transactions or low money down transactions. Now you do these inside this wonderful little black box of the inherited Roth IRA. And how much do you ever have to pay in taxes on these deals?
Yeah, but that's not exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about when someone knows they're terminal, and maybe they don't have any money, but they know they're terminal. Say the doctor gave them a year to live, and they're still feeling okay right now. I've heard of people who are terminal saying, for $5,000, I'll open up an IRA right now in my name, but I'll will it to you when I pass. And then it's fully vested when it passes. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct.
So it's a way to put in an IRA, not have to wait the 5 years, or not have to wait till you're 59 and a half, to have an IRA that's fully vested that you can take money out of now if you want to, and you can get it in however long it takes that person to pass. Now it sounds morbid, and this is not in a morbid way, because some people who are been written a death certificate before they've passed, basically, they're going to die. They don't have any money to enjoy the last years or months of their life. And now they can sell to people out in the public. They could sell for $5,000. I'm going to open you an IRA and I'll will it to you. And you put whatever amount you want to put into it, but it's willed to you. And they can do it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row. I mean, they can raise $30,000 and tour all of Europe if that's what they wanted to do before they passed, right?
Absolutely. They're going to look funny inside that hospital bed touring through Europe and going to the Eiffel Tower. But yeah, they could do that.
Well, a lot of people, though, get pronounced with things that they don't know if it's a year or a year and a half or 2 years or 3 years, but it's going to happen. And anyways, that's how they could raise money to enjoy the last days, or have an in-home carekeeper when they wouldn't have the money to have an in-home carekeeper, because all that stuff's very expensive.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've definitely heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to point that out. Any other questions from the people out there listening, Jen?
Not on the inherited. So we will see everybody next week if we're wrapping up, and keep the questions coming. Please get your questions in at Jen at taxfreefuture.com. We're getting quite a few. We love to have them. We love hearing from you. So get your questions in.
Okay, and also go ahead and go to taxfreefuture.com if you like these kinds of insider secrets to these retirement plans. Go to taxfreefuture.com. Give us the little micro information, you know, your first name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. I promise you we're not going to beat you up with 1,000 things, but that'll open and give you the key to watch these little 37 video vignettes, or however many there were. I know there was a lot of them, over 30. And it's Tim and I talking about things just like this, little known things that you can do, you know, because you haven't been 20 plus years, 2 decades plus involved in a retirement plan. So there's no way you could know as much as Tim is able to divulge. And it's a very, very interesting and eye-opening set of video vignettes. So check it out, taxfreefuture.com. And again, get your questions to Jen, Jen, at taxfreefuture.com, and we'll be addressing them. We're doing this every Monday, you know. So we didn't have Facebook Live today because for some reason my laptop's just not letting me get into it. So I'm doing this off my phone today. But we try to do this every Monday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're trying to do it Facebook Live and in a regular video so we can post them different places. So thank you very much, everyone. Anyone got anything else to add before we cut out?
No, I just want to say thank you, John from New York, for that question.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So, yep.
All right, we're out of here.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Oh.